when you introduce a dielectric slab in a capacitor, then what happens there? If a dielectric material is introduced between the plate, let us say parallel plate capacitor, and this is the dielectric material, right, and this is the parallel plate capacitor. So, what is happening in that case? The plates of the capacitor are charged plus and minus. So, accordingly what will happen in the dielectric slab? Any change will be there in the capacity or it will remain as it is? Change will be there, whether increase or decrease? Increase. And what is the reason behind it? Why it is increasing? A means area of the plate, E, because you know the capacity is nothing but equal to Q by K epsilon 0 A, right. This is the formula for parallel plate capacitor. Then which quantity is changing, so that you can tell the capacity is increasing. In this situation, out of these variables, which quantity is changing? When you are introducing a dielectric slab, why the capacity is increasing? Is it correct formula? Capacity of a parallel plate capacitor. It is correct or wrong? Where this K will be? Denominator or numerator? Numerator, yes. So, it will be Q divided by KQ divided by epsilon 0 A, right. So, when you are introducing the dielectric slab, it must have some dielectric constant K, then it will be enhanced by that much times, right. But that is not case. What will happen to the dielectric slab? What about the charge present in the dielectric slab? By induction, what will happen? If this is positively charged and this is negatively charged, then what will happen to the surface of the dielectric slab nearby, the two plates? Opposite charge or same charge? Opposite charge will appear here, minus, 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 plus, 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 right. Then how many kinds of fields we are getting here? Two types of fields, one in this direction due to the charging of the capacitor plate, and the other one is in the opposite direction due to the induced charge created on the surface of the dielectric slab, right. So, if this field is E and this field is E prime, then the net field in this capacitor will be reduced or enhanced? Reduced, because they are opposite to each other. One is in this direction, other is in the opposite direction. So, it is opposing that. So, the field strength will get reduced, right. So, as a result of that, what will happen to those induced charge? What do you mean by, there is a word, term called as displacement vector. What is that vector? Have you any idea? What the displacement vector means? Displacement vector, displacement current, right. They are associated with this electrostatic problem. So, what do you mean by the displacement vector? No doubt it is a vector because of direction, but what that vector is? Why it is displacement vector? Now, tell me what will happen to those induced charges generated on the surface of the dielectric? Are they bound to the surface or they can move freely? Because the charge in the plate creates a field E. The induced charge created on the surface of the dielectric slab is E prime, and E is all the time greater than E prime, right. So, let us say here is a charge Q, it is acted upon by two fields E and in the opposite direction E prime. So, what will happen to that charge? Whether it will be a free charge or bound charge. On the surface it is bound, but when two fields are opposing each other, what will happen to that charge? This is now experiencing how many forces? Charge will experience the force because field is there. How much force? Force formula is Q times E, right. When a charge is there in the field, how much force it will experience? Q times E. So, accordingly this charge will experience how many force? 2, one in the direction, in this direction, other in the opposite direction. So, the net force on the charge is how much? Is it 0? Can it be 0? Because in this direction there is more force than in that direction, opposite direction, right. So, whenever the force is acting on a charge, can it be free or bound? The charge will be free or bound. Bound means it is binding with something, like electrons are binding with the nucleus, they are not free, right. Similarly, the charges are created here, both opposite charges, negative and positive, and when these charges are experiencing force, two forces in opposite direction, whether those will remain as bound charge or free charge. Imagine this Q is at rest, bound, but when there are two fields acting on opposite direction, what will happen to this charge? Bound means at some position with respect to the slab, but when two fields are acting on that slab, one in this direction, other in the opposite direction, same thing, maybe positive charge, negative charge, does not matter. Suppose it is positive charge, then what will happen? The net force will be in what direction? In this direction, right? But if it is negative charge, opposite direction, but they are experiencing force, right? They are experiencing force. By that force, what will happen to those charges? Whether they will be at rest or they will move. Then if move, with how much force they will move? There should be force to move, right? You cannot tell that a body is at rest with application of force. It has to go according to Newtonian mechanics, right? So, when this is experiencing the two forces, both are opposite to each other, but the net force F is how much? If this force is F dash and this force is F double dash, then it must be equal to F dash minus F double dash net force, right? On this charge due to this field, the force is F prime. On this same charge due to this field, it is double dash prime, and double dash prime force is definitely less than that of the F prime, because the strength of this field is more than that. It is induced charge, right? So, then now if this force is acting on that charge and it is sufficient, because you see when you tell that here is a body, even though I am applying some force, it is not moving. What does it mean? When it will not move? You are applying force, but fails to explain the Newton's law. Why? Is it really true or wrong? A body is at rest, you are applying force, but still it is at rest. It is violating Newton's law, or our explanation is wrong? Newton's law tells whenever there is a force, state should change. Rest should go to motion, motion should come to rest. But how the body is remaining at rest, even though the force is applied? It is possible or not? Possible, right? Then why it is not violating the Newton's law, or our understanding is wrong? Newton's law cannot be violated, otherwise it cannot be accepted to be a law, right? Once you are accepting it is a law, then there should not be any violation. Then what happens? Why that body is at rest even though the force is applied? This situation you might have experienced, right? Equal and opposite force. Where is the equal opposite force now? What is the opposite force? You see, if you tell about the gravity, it is acting in this direction, it has no component in this direction. No question of gravitational force is opposing it, right? Gravitational force is all the time downward, and at 90 degree what is its component? 0. Then who is opposing and neutralizing that so that it comes to 0? Gravitational force has no role, because you are applying force in this direction and in the opposite direction it is 0, no effect, but still it is at rest. Why it is coming to rest? What are the opposing forces generally available in nature? Friction, right? Here the same thing happens. Friction is equal to applied force if, then it will never go, right? So long as the frictional force is not succeeded, the body will never start to change its position or state, right? Even though you are applying force, but the opposing force friction has to be neutralized, right? Then only the motion, the additional force you are applying with that force, it will be accelerated and go on, right? Suppose for example, here is a surface and you are putting a body over it of mass m or any mass, whatever it may be. So, automatically the frictional force is automatic or somebody is creating it? It is automatic comes, because it is the either cohesive or adhesive force, right? If similar molecules are there between two surfaces, it is adhesive force, attractive. If dissimilar molecules are there, dissimilar is adhesive, similar is cohesive, but both are attractive. That is why they attract each other to bind them together. They will not allow that to go on. If that kind of force is not there, then you cannot keep anybody on the surface, right? Then if you are applying force here, what happens here? The binding force between the molecules on the surface are so strong that this force cannot be able to overcome that, right? They are binding with each other, you are applying force, but that force applied is if not succeeding more than that, kind of interaction which bind the molecules or the body together, then you can tell the state cannot be changed, right. But the frictional force, let us say, equal to F prime and applied force is F, and so long as this frictional force is a variable force or constant force, friction between two surfaces is a variable force or constant force, variable force, right, because the plot tells what is the plot, nature of the plot, go on increasing, then slightly decrease, then remain constant, right. So, this is called as limit, static limit. So long as that is there, the body will never go, even though you are increasing the force, but it is not succeeding the frictional force, static friction. But after that, dynamic friction which remains constant, no further change. Then if you apply extra force, it will take it away, right. So, frictional force is not a constant force, it is a variable force, right, and up to this it is static, body will never go. After that, dynamic, but the maximum value of static friction will slightly decrease, then only it will remain constant, right. So, when it is constant, then if you apply the additional force, it has to go. In that way only the bodies are moving with the application of the force, and if it is at rest, obviously the frictional force is opposing it, it is counterbalanced. You are increasing but still not moving, increasing still not moving, because there is a limit for any two surface. Till that it will remain at rest, that is why it is static friction. But if it is going beyond this value, then it will start moving, it will remain constant, friction is there but remains constant, right. So, similarly now you tell when this there are charges, now you come to the electric force, here you are considering the mechanical force, right, here you are considering the mechanical force, but now you are considering the electric force. The charge is experiencing the electric force, one in this direction, other in the opposite direction, right. When you are putting the induced charge, what is created on the surface of this glass slab or on the surface, right, created on the surface, not inside. So, the field is experienced by two fields, one in this direction because of the plate charged, and the other due to the induced charge created, induced. So, both the fields are not equal, right, both the fields are not equal, and strength of this field is more than that. So, you cannot tell that the fields are cancelled. If fields are not cancelled, there will be a net field, and that net field will be experiencing its force on this charge, on every induced charge, right. On every induced charge, this force or this field will create a force. So, is there any opposing force, so that that force will be neutralized, so that the charges cannot go? If it will neutralize, then only you can tell that the charges will be at rest on the surface, but if not, then what will happen? It is just like the case, you are sitting on a chair, right, on the surface of the chair, somebody is pulling in this side, somebody is pulling you on the other side, and both the forces are not equal, right, both the forces are not equal. Same thing happens here, every charge, induced charge is experiencing a force in opposite direction, one is more than the other, right, one is more than the other. Then what will happen to those induced charges? I am telling about only induced charge, not this charge of the plate, means whether they will be at rest on the surface or they have to displace. Displacement is caused due to what? Force. If no force, no displacement, state cannot be changed, right. If it is at rest, it will remain at rest. If it is in motion, it should go with the uniform motion. These are the two states, rest and motion, and if you want to change the states, then force is the agent who can do that, right. So, if force is applied and there is no such opposing force to neutralize that applied force, then what will happen to that charge? Charge will displace or remain intact on the surface of the dielectric slab. They will displace, right, they will displace, and all the charges, not one, whoever is the induced charge, they will displace because of the force acting on them, right. So, all the displacements are same or different, because many charges are there which are induced, right, and all are having same quantity of charge, only difference is that one is plus, other is minus, right. So, then what will happen to the displacement vector? It is constant or different? If there is displacement which is a vector quantity, displacement is a vector quantity. So, you should know the direction and magnitude both, because that is a vector quantity. Then in what direction they will displace? In what direction they will displace? In the direction of the force, right, in the direction of the force. So, suppose this is the positive charge created, induced charge, then it will experience force in what direction? Net force is in this direction, right, net force is in this direction. So, the positive charge will displace in what direction? In the same direction, because the net force acting on this is in this direction, right. But what about the negative charge on this surface? Net field is in this direction, net force is in that direction. So, that charge will go in what direction? Whether in the direction of the field or opposite to the direction of field, negative charge. If positive, it will go in the direction of the field, right. Suppose there is a charge minus q and the field is in this direction, where the charge will go? Whether in same direction of the field or opposite? Opposite, because this relation tells you force equal to q times E. Though what is your q? Minus q, means direction of F and E are opposite to each other, right. They are opposite to each other. So, then negative charge will displace in what direction? Same direction as that of the positive charge, right. Negative charge is also displacing in the same direction as that of the positive charge, because one is negative charge, other is the positive charge, but the displacements are same because quantity of charge is same, and that vector is actually called as the displacement vector, right. That vector is called as the displacement vector, because there will be displacement and which is a vector, and both for negative and positive induced charge, that vector is same both in magnitude as well as in direction, right. Then now if you ask, somebody will ask you what will be the net electric net field in that arrangement capacitor. It is an arrangement, right. In that arrangement, how can you express the net electric field? Can you if the displacement vector is represented by D vector, right, D is the displacement vector that I told, right. So, because of this vector, is there any field created or not? This vector is associated with some additional field or not? Or this applied field is only with the plates, applied field is E, right. Applied field is E, but when induced charge comes into picture, then this displacement is coming, right. The displacement vector is there only when there is a dielectric material. If dielectric material is not there, there is no chance of this D, right. This D is only because of dielectric slab. Then now what will be the net electric field of that kind of arrangement? It will be in the same direction of the net field or opposite direction. Then accordingly you can add and subtract, right. It will generate some field definitely, and how much that field will be? So, if you write the net field, then it will be how much? E plus. E is the field due to the charge plate, right. E is the field due to the charge plate, and again additional field is coming because of the displacement vector. So, the net field in the arrangement will be how much? Plus this quantity into D, and this is called as your displacement vector associated with, sometimes it is called related to displacement current also, right. Why it is current? Because charge is moving, displacing, there will be rate of flow and there will be current, right. So long as charge is at rest, no current, but once it is moving, displacing, obviously there is current, right. So, that is why when these induced charges are moving or displacing, then there will be current, and that displacement current is related to displacement vector, right. So, these are the things that you know about polarization, dielectric material, why dielectric materials are required, and what is the displacement vector, how it will change the field inside the capacitor, right. Net electric field is Tell me in what direction displacement is this? It is in the direction of the field or opposite? The charges will move, induced charges, in what direction? In the direction of this E or E prime? opposite charges are created here. If it is positive, it is negative, but this charge will move in what direction? In the direction of the same field due to the plates. Positive will go in the same direction, negative will also go in the same direction. Force is in the same direction. That I told you, negative charge is experiencing a force in the opposite direction. Right? If field is there, net field is there, this negative induced charge will go in this direction, positive induced charge will also go in the same direction. Right? Both are going in the same direction, displacing in the same direction, because the force is acting on them in the same direction. You see, when you take a field, if I will take a negative charge, it will go in this direction, and when you take a positive charge, it will go in what direction? In the opposite direction, right? Now you have to tell, then what is the net field created inside this? I have little bit wrong here explanation, right? Net field will be in what direction? You see, suppose let us take only one charge, minus q, and here is plus q. Then where they will go? Displace. Both are in same direction or in opposite direction. Net field is in this direction, right? Net field is in this direction, because the field created due to the induced charge is opposite to this, but strength is low, right? So the net field acting on these charges is in what direction? If there are two plates, this is positive, this is negative, field is in this direction or not? The strength of the field is E, but when you take a slab, because of this slab what will happen? Here is negative, here is positive. So the field is in this direction, right? And this field is, let us say, E prime. Then what is the net field in this arrangement? E minus E prime, because obviously is more than that. So when it is more, the net field is acting in what direction? This direction, right? So those induced charges on the surface will experience a force in what direction? Whether they are in same direction or in opposite direction, because of that net field. Net field I am telling. Net field is, let us say, E double prime, which is equal to how much? E minus E prime, and this E double prime is having same direction as that of E, right? Same that of E. So then in what direction the negative charge will displace, and in what direction the positive charge will displace, whether the displacement is in same direction or opposite direction. Field is there, and direction of field for both the charges are same, right? Like here, minus q plus q, right? But they will go in what direction? Opposite direction or same direction? Opposite direction. Negative charge will go in this direction, positive charge will go in the opposite direction. But what about the displacement? Are they same or different? Displacement, magnitude and direction both, right? Displacement means it is a vector quantity, and when two vectors will be equal? If both magnitude and direction are equal, right? So when I am telling displacement of negative charge, let us say displacement is d prime, and displacement of positive charge, let it be d prime, whether these two vectors can be equal or not. They are equal in magnitude, right? But the vectors are not equal, because they are in opposite direction. So I cannot write here they are equal, right? They are not equal, because they are in opposite direction. But what about their magnitude? Magnitude of both the vectors are same or different? Same, because charge is same. Force is how much? Depending on the force they will displace. If force is more, then displacement may be more, but the force is same for both or not? The force is same for both. So the displacement for both the charges are equal, or magnitude equal or different? They must be equal, right? Then what will happen? The net force is neutralizing the displacement, right? Net force is neutralizing the displacement of the induced charges. Then what will happen to those induced charges? If you forget about the other charges involved in the dielectric constant, then you can tell they will stick, right? But can a dielectric slab is only having the surface charge which are induced, or other charges are also present? Other charges are also present, or they are not there? When you are telling a dielectric slab, let us say this dielectric slab is having surface charge density sigma, charge per unit surface, right? So let the total charge coming here is represented by q prime by area is, let us say, A, then that is your surface charge density or not? But this q prime is the total charge present in the slab, or more charges are also present? Will you follow me? Suppose, let us say, think about a dipole. Dipole means what? There are two poles, positive and negative, and if there is a dipole, and they are binding with some force. That is why you are telling it is a dipole. Otherwise, from where you are getting these charges, induced charges, from where they come? If all the time they will bound with each other and dipoles are existing throughout, then you should not come here. There should not be any surface charge. That indicates the charges are free. Otherwise, how opposite charges are going? Negative charge comes here, positive charge comes here due to induction. That means the field applied is breaking the dipoles, so that they will become now charge. Right? The dipole strength is not that strong, because the force, electric force applied on them is breaking the bonding between the two opposite charges in the dipole. Right? As a result of that, what will happen? Depending on the surface, some charge will be coming to the surface. Right? But not all. Not all the charges are coming, but few charges are coming and residing on the surface, which you call as the surface charge density. Right? For example, let us say there are 100 dipoles. Can all 100 dipoles will break and they will settle on the surface? Let us say, I am telling, let us say 100 dipoles are there in the dielectric slab, and you are applying a field. Right? Two plates are there means field is there. So, by that what will happen? These dipoles are breaking. Right? That is, you can tell the bond strength between them will be breaked. So, now they will be free. Whether all the 100 dipoles having 100 opposite charges are residing on the surface, or few will come and few will not come. You see, when you are telling, in case of diode what happens? There is a cathode and anode. Cathode is emitting the electron as many as possible depending on its temperature if it is thermal emission, right. But can it attract all the electrons emitted? Can it attract so that the plate current is all the time going on increasing, or it will saturate? It will saturate. So, even though the free charge is available, but it cannot accept it, right. It cannot accept it. Up to certain limit, depending on its potential, it will take, right. But if more charges are created per second, but unable to accept by this plate, then what will happen to the plate current? It will remain constant, that is the saturation current, but does not mean that the charge is not there. Many free charges are available here, electrons are available there, but still the current remains constant. Why? Depending on its potential. How much charge it can accept? It cannot accept all the charges created by the thermal emission, right. That is why if you take a plot, voltage versus current diode plot, you might have read it. What is the nature of the diode curve? Characteristic curve, it will go, then why that saturation is coming? That means whatever per unit time is created, the same amount per second is not accepted, right. But up to this, more number of electrons generated or more number of electrons are accepted by the plate. So, plate current goes on increasing, but after this limit it cannot accept. That is why whatever is coming, saturation is reached, further there is no increase in the plate current, right. But you cannot tell that there is no free charge, electrons are not there, that is called as a space charge or not, that is called as a space charge. That means some electrons are moving around all the time, because all cannot be accepted by the plate. It will be accepted depending on its potential, how much it can accept. There is a limit. Beyond that limit, current will never increase. That means the total number of electron emitted is equal to total number of electron accepted. That is the saturation current, rate of flow. But beyond that, why this current is not increasing? Suppose there are 1000 electrons emitted, but it can accept only 800. What about the rest 200? Where they will go? That will create the space charge. The charges, electrons are moving around in this space, that is why it is called as a space charge, right. So, similarly, now think about this dielectric material. Let there are 100 dipoles and the same strength is, field strength is applied to all or different. Same field strength is same for all, equal. Then if they will break, then can all the electrons or opposite charges can settle on the surface, or few will come and few are still moving. It is not the space, it is a material, but within the material they are rest or moving. That cannot be space charge, because unless it is space you cannot tell it is space charge, but charge is there which are at rest or moving. Suppose for example, let us say here is a dipole, one dipole is there this is positive q, this is minus q. Here is another dipole, same, plus q minus q. Here is another dipole, plus q minus q, and all are experiencing same electric field, all, right. If all are experiencing same electric field, then because of that field, strength of the field, what will happen to the dipole? Dipole means what? What do you mean by dipole actually? Is there any such binding body which all the time bind together? It is just a bond, right. It is just a bond, like all chemical bonds that you learn, right. Two equal and opposite charges, if binding each other, then that is a dipole. But can the bonds are breakable or unbreakable? All the chemical bonds that you learn are breakable, right, depending on the strength of the field acting on them. If it is electric dipole, right, that will break only with the application of what kind of force? Electric. Electric field can break it, but all electric field cannot break it, depends on the strength of the field, it will break. That you know. Why you are telling the ionic bond is more strong? Why you are telling ionic bond is more strong than the others? Because the attraction between the two charges are very, very strong if they are ions, right. Opposite charges are there, so obviously the electric force is strong, they will bind each other and the bond is called as the ionic bond, which is the strongest bond. But the weakest bond? Van der Waals bond or not? But still, can you tell that the two poles are not binding? There is no bond, Van der Waals bond existing? It is existing. Then to break a Van der Waals bonding material, it needs more energy, or to break a ionic bonding material more energy? Can they take same amount of energy to break them? Ionic bond material is there, sodium chloride. Let us take the example of sodium chloride. What bond is there? Sodium ion plus chlorine ion minus. That will be automatically ionic bond, right. It is ionic bond. And similarly, tell an example of Van der Waals bond. Where you are getting that kind of bonding? Everywhere. But only Van der Waals. I am telling Van der Waals may be there, but amount is very small. Tell me an example of a material where we are getting the Van der Waals bonding only, no other bonding. Like sodium chloride, is there any Van der Waals bonding? Even if it is there, which is eliminated. That is why you are telling it is an ionic compound, right. Sodium chloride is an ionic compound or Van der Waals compound? What kind of compound is sodium chloride? Then what about the Van der Waals bonding? Very less means you can feel that there is no Van der Waals bonding, no Van der Waals bonding. But similarly, you tell an example where you can tell that it is only Van der Waals bonding, no other bonding. Physical? Absorption. No, I want a material, like I told you sodium chloride is having ionic bond. That is a material that you have seen, realize. Similarly, tell me a material where there are Van der Waals bonding only. It may be solid, liquid, gas, does not matter, but you tell a material. Noble gases, right. Then why you are telling that for noble gases only? Why you are telling that there are Van der Waals kind of bonding in noble gases? Because they are not interacting with each other, their cells are saturated, the outermost orbits are completed, there is no question of interaction among the electrons, but still there is gravitational force, weak force or strong force. Then where that force will go? Like that, many weak forces are also there, which you cannot neglect. And that kind of bonding which bind them together, noble gases are binding or they are going away anywhere, as if they are free. If you are keeping in a container noble gas, is there any bonding among the molecules or they will free? There is some bonding, but that bonding is very, very weak, as if they are going freely, like gas, right. So then now you tell, if there is a van der Waals bonding and there is ionic bonding, two kinds of different materials, if you apply same field to both of them, same field, right, same electric field is applied for both of them, but van der Waals bonding is charge dependent or independent? That is another question. Van der Waals bonding is charge dependent or independent? Ionic bond is charge dependent. So, it must be disturbed by the electric field, right. If it is electric charge, obviously it is experiencing electric force. Similarly, the van der Waals bonding is electric in nature or non-electric? Non-electric. So, electric and non-electric classify different kinds of bonding, that you know, right. But if you tell covalent bonding, that is electric or non-electric? Covalent bonding, that is also between the electrons, right, that is also between the electrons. In case of ion, what happens? Electrons are totally donated so that they will become ions, right. If you are telling sodium chloride, sodium is having how many electrons? Sodium is having how many electrons? 11. So, what is the electron configuration? 2, 8, 1, right. Outermost orbit is having how many electrons? 1 electron, right. Whether that orbit is saturated or incomplete? Incomplete, right. Means it can accept more electrons, right, to be saturated, 8, right. So, in case of chlorine, how much? What is the atomic number of chlorine? 17. So, what is the configuration? 2, 8, then no, just I am telling the cells, I am not writing the 2, 17, na. So, how will you put 17 electrons in the orbits? Like here it is 2, first cell, second cell is 8, third cell is 1, and I am not telling the subcells, just to tell in terms of cells, 2, 8 and then how much it is? Yes. So, now tell the outermost orbit is having how many electrons? Is it saturated? No. That means not stable. Saturated means stable. So long as it is not stable, what will try? It will do? It will try to interact with others to have minimum energy. Stable means what? Minimum energy, right. So, neither this is having minimum energy to be stable, nor this is having minimum energy to be stable. Both are unstable. So, they will go for stability. How they will go for stability then? If this electron will totally given to it, then that will be stable, and this one will be also stable, right. If these 7 electrons are donated completely to this, now what will happen here? The outermost orbit is completely filled up. So, the energy is minimum and stable, and at the same time what happens to this chlorine? That is also stable, right. That is also stable, because the outermost orbit is containing 8 electrons, saturated. So, both are acquiring minimum energy and both are stable, but what will happen to the charge? Can you call it as an atom? You cannot, because there are 7 electrons additional, right. If the sorry, I am telling wrong thing. This 1 electron will go here, right, because obviously if strength is more, they will take towards that side, right. But anyway, when this electron goes to there, it is now having minimum energy, this is also having minimum energy and stable, but at the same time both are electrified, ionized, you can tell ionized. So, it will be no more called as atom, rather it is called as an ion plus, because one additional electron is required, but it is gone away. So, one electron charge is sought to be neutralized. Sought means which charge is more? Positive charge is more, that is why it is positive ion, but at the same time it was neutral, chlorine, but when electron 1 extra is coming, then it will be sodium chloride minus. So, both the charges are equal. This is Na plus, that is chlorine minus, just because of electron transfer, right. But now what will happen? It is a charged particle, it is a charged particle. In between two atoms, you can tell there is no interaction, because they are neutral. Electrically there is no interaction. But now in this situation, what happens? They will interact, because they are two opposite charges. Ions are two opposite charges. Then what will happen to them? They will attract each other, and that bond is the ionic bonding, right. That bonding is the ionic bonding, and whose strength is more, right. The strength is more. Similarly, now if like these things happen in dipole, same similar thing or not? Similar thing is happening in dipole. Dipole means what? Two equal and opposite charges. Two equal and opposite charge, that may be sodium chloride also. What does it mean? That may be a dipole also. What is the problem? But the bond strength for that dipole is strong enough, right? The bond strength is strong enough. To break it, it requires a very high amount of energy. Otherwise, you can never break it. It is so strong. But if it is a van der Waals bond or other kinds of bonding that you have learned, covalent bond, what happens in covalent bond? That is also relevant to transfer or donation of electron or something else. It is not donation. In order to making them stable, to minimize their energy, what they will happen? They will do? They will share. Right? For example, carbon is having how many electrons in the outermost orbit? Carbon, 4 or not? 2, 4. So, outermost orbit is having how many electrons? 4 electrons. Right? But is it filled or is it stable or unstable atom? Unstable. Because when 4 more will come, then only you can tell stable. Then only it will have minimum energy. Right? So, then how to get it? How to make them stable? Hydrogen is having how much? Only 1. Right? Hydrogen is having only 1, and that too again that is also not minimum. It requires 1 more. Right? So, it requires more to be stable, it requires 4 to be stable. Right? Then what will happen now? They will share. So, it will share for both. So, it will be 2, it will be here is 1, like that here is 1, here is 1, here is 1. 4 hydrogens are attached. What kind of bonding it is? Covalent, methane. Right? So, the covalent bond is by sharing the electrons, but the ionic bond is by donating the electrons. Situations are completely different. In between them there is force, no doubt. In between carbon and hydrogen there is force or not? Bonding is there, covalent bond is there. But can it be so strong like the ionic bond? Cannot. The bond strength of covalent bond can never be equivalent to ionic bond. So, to break covalent bond is easy, but to break ionic bond is very tough job. Right? That is why when you put sodium chloride in water only, you are breaking. Right? When you put sodium chloride in water, it breaks or not? Why it breaks? Because the force between sodium and chloride is how much? The force is, let us say, q square by r square. Let the distance between them is r, one length. But when I put it in the water, another constant of dielectric constant 80 is coming in between. So, what will happen to this force? It will reduce 80 times. Right? It will reduce 80 times between the two ions. So, what will happen then? If it can be reduced to 80 times, then it is breaking. That is why ions are coming out. Right? Sodium chloride is a very strong bond, but when you put it inside the water, you are getting the ions. It is dissolved. Dissolved means what? You are getting ions mixed together. And how it happens? Because of the dielectric media. Media is the water media, whose dielectric constant is 80. Right? So, if I will calculate the force where that K is equal to 80, the force will be reduced or enhanced. Formula is what? What is the formula for electrostatic force? Formula for electrostatic force between two charges. How much? K, yes, then Q1, Q2 divided by R square. What this K is? Is a constant, but that constant again depends on what? K equal to 1 by epsilon 0 epsilon r. Epsilon r is the relative permittivity of the medium or dielectric constant, right? So, when you put water, this ER is how much? 80. Now, think what about the force? It is reduced by 80 times, right? When it is in air, if it is having force F, when you put it in water, it is F by 80. The force is reduced by 80 times. Then what will happen? It is automatically breaking. That you call as a dissolved. Sodium chloride dissolved, but in air it is not dissolving. Right? So, this way, think about this dipole in case of dielectric. What will happen? Next time we will discuss about the displacement vector and current. Right?